the weather outside is frightful. Seems so delightful. Since there's no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, and snow. Morning, another vlog, another day. Yeah, back by popular or unpopular demand, I'm doing another vlog follow-up with the Sony A6400 and myself, obviously. What is going to be the purpose of this vlog? There has to be a purpose to this vlog. Making it tech related. So, ways and how not to vlog. That's kind of been bugging on my mind because I think we've been talking a lot about the type of gear that suits vlogging, what you should be using when you're vlogging, how you should be vlogging, what your priorities are when you're vlogging. So I'm gonna try and take you through my day and kind of paint and show you guys my opinion on how not to vlog. Now, like I said, I ain't no vlogging expert, but I think these are the kind of things that you need, and if you do, should make vlogging easier and more about the storytelling of you just having to talk about what you're doing through your vlog rather than pretty much your gear, what you're doing, get in your way. So, like I always say, come along and vlog with me and let's go through the ways of how not to vlog featuring the Sony A6400. Now, the first point to vlogging I'll definitely say is stability. Stabilization, having a stable shot matters more than bokeh. More people worry about getting the most cinematic background blur. It makes no difference if you don't have a stable shot. So I'll definitely say, whenever you're prioritizing, get a camera that has in-body image stabilization, get a lens that has IS or image stabilization built into the lens. Different manufacturers call it different things. I'm using a Sony and it's known as optical steady shot. Worry about stability. A more stable shot makes it less distracting to your audience when you're trying to convey the conversation or the story you're trying to tell them. Now, I'm in the car, so what I'm gonna do is kind of try and explain what I mean about focusing on stability. So right now, I'm using a constant f4 18 to 105mm OSS optical steady shot lens on the Sony A6400. Check my two previous vlogs, which I will link, and you will see what I'm talking about. The Sony A6400 does not have any form of in-body image stabilization. There's no stabilization on the sensor, so it is so much more important for me to get a stable shot. Yes, it's a constant f4, so when I zoom in, the aperture doesn't change, the exposure doesn't change, but it's not going to give me the most blurriest background, especially on a crop sensor APS-C. So yeah, if it was full frame with an f4, I'll get some background blur, but I get enough as it is already. What I'm going to do on my next scene, I'm going to switch to the Sigma 60mm. Well, why can't I talk? I'm going to switch to the 16mm Sigma F1.4. That does not have any stabilization. You're going to realize that it has great background blur, but with no stabilization in the camera and also no stabilization in the lens, it can potentially be more jarring. And I'm going to find out and I'm going to show you different ways to get around that when you're in a situation like that. So let's go. This is, for example, me switching now to the Sigma 60mm f1.4. This is a wider field of view. I like this field of view. I like how it looks. It looks more cinematic. But the concern is this is potentially going to come at the cost of having a stable image. So we're going to do a walk and see how that looks like. And then afterwards, we'll switch back and we'll do the same with the optically stabilized lens. So just doing a casual walk. I'll come back and I'll do the same walk again. So this lens is amazing, but it's better to pair it with a camera body like the A6600 that has in-body image stabilization, and you can still see yourself as well with the flip-up screen. This is a great lens, but if you have in-body image stabilization, it becomes even better. So I'm going to switch over to the stabilized lens at the f4, although this does look really nice and cinematic, right? I'm going to get around to the best situations to really be using them to get advantage of having a very stable image and it looking good like this. Now, looking at this, this is the best way to get around situations where you're not stable. Find places where you can put your camera down, make it stable, make it still, and then it's worth having all this background bokeh. Stability matters more. If you're not getting a stable shot, you're not going to be able to actually convey your message, and more people are just going to be mentally distracted. They're probably not going to realize why they're mentally distracted, but it's because of all that unnatural shake. Some shake is good, but let it feel more like a natural handshake rather than a very wobbly mess. So this is the way to get around when you don't have a stable image. Try and plant your camera down and make it still so you're able to convey your messages. Yeah, so back to the stabilized lens, 18 millimeters, not as wide, constant f4, but it is stabilized. So I'm pretty much doing roughly the same walk like I did before, but what you're gonna notice is it's gonna have a natural shake. It's gonna be more stable, right? But there's gonna be a natural shake, and this is just gonna be much better when you're conveying a message. Stability matters. Let stability be the focus, right? Don't chase bokeh unless you can have both, right? So that's the first thing that I kind of wanted to convey when vlogging. How not to vlog. Don't chase bokeh, chase stability unless you can have both. Right, so this next point should be very simple, right? Don't get a camera without good autofocus. This is going to be controversial because I know there's going to be a lot of people that use cameras such as the GH5, great image stabilization, great flip up screen, great image quality, but it's using contrast detection autofocus. Now, they've done a lot of upgrades to that and you can get away with it, but I'm adamant. You want to make sure that you're getting a camera that has great autofocus or good enough autofocus to an extent so you don't have to worry about being in focus or not. Right now, this is a great feature on the A6400. You've got face tracking in video, and even the A6600 has real-time face tracking and real-time IAF tracking in video, which is insane. Use a good camera that has good autofocus, and that's the second point when it comes to vlogging. You don't want to be dealing with manual focus. Yes, you can deal with it, but it's just an extra step that you'd have to worry about when it comes to fiddling with the camera and not getting on with the story of just being able to vlog and talk to your audience, as you can see. Now I've switched to the Sigma F1.4 60mm. It's standing still right now, so I can talk to you guys about the next point. Vlog with a flip out screen, whether it's a flip up, flip to the side. Obviously flip out in terms of to the side, very angled displays are much more useful. But even this A6400, it's got a flip up screen. I've got a cold shoe relocator, dubbed the Crown. If you didn't watch the previous vlog, again, plug in it, go watch it. Flip up screens are useful. Now again, yes, when you're vlogging and you're talking, look into the camera lens. But do you know why a flip up screen is useful? You can frame your shot. You can set up your shot. You can see exactly how you're framing. You can see if your audio is on. You can see if you're recording, the time, your exposure, and you can see if the face tracking is working and you're in focus. Yes, the main thing is to talk to you guys, right? But do you know how alienated it feels to vlog without a flip out screen? I know there's certain cameras, I'm going to use it as an example, Sony A7 III. I know people that vlog with that camera, great, nothing against it, great autofocus, but the worst thing is to find out there's something wrong with your shot. You can't see it, you can't see whether you're recording, you can't see exposure change, you can't have that much control. So I say this, don't vlog and do not get a camera that does not have a flip out screen. I'm telling you, having a flip out screen is so useful, you need it. It's not to be looking at the monitor while you're talking. Even if you do, it doesn't matter. The fact that you can see yourself, you can frame yourself properly is great. And for those people that vlog for those people that vlog with sunglasses is even better. You can cheat. Sunglasses, no one can see whether you're looking at the lens or the screen at the same time. Whew. Parked up, final spot, man. I'm about to give you my final point, I believe. Unless there's any other points to really clarify, but I don't think so. Final point to what not to do when it comes to vlogging. So, 1080p or 4K. This point is gonna sound very contradictory to what I'm actually doing now on the Sony A6400. 1080p or 4K, both matter. I prefer to shoot in 4K. Now this is shooting 4K up to 24 frames a second and 30 frames with a slight crop at 1.2x. It doesn't have 4K 60, which I really did. 4K slow motion is so butter, even at 60 frames a second, even though I do love the 120 on this. But do not shoot in 4K if it's gonna frustrate your workflow. If it frustrates your workflow and it makes your editing process longer, if you do not have a more powerful enough system to handle 4K video shooting, do not shoot in 4K. 1080p is more than enough, right? If you've got a powerful enough system and you've got the time and it does not frustrate your workflow in terms of shooting in 4K, then by all means, shoot in 4K UHD, enjoy the higher quality uploading like what I'm doing right now. But if you do not have a system that's powerful enough, if you don't have the storage, if you don't have the capacity, if the camera doesn't give you the autofocus, if there is any hindrance to you shooting in 4K, don't do it. 1080p is more than enough, and that is contradictory to what I'm even talking about right now. So I shoot in 4K UHD, like I said, but I think that is the last bit of advice I can give in terms of how not to vlog and the things to really worry about. With that, I can recommend certain cameras that do it really well. So personally, the best vlogging camera I personally think is the Sony A6600, then the A6400. Canon 90D is another one as well. And also when it comes to things like the Canon 60 Mark II, as well as the Canon M50, all these cameras are great vlogging cameras to have. So if you have these priorities in there, this is probably gonna give you the best vlogging experience. So how not to vlog? That's it for me, Ben, signing out. I'll see you guys next time.